Hi, everybody. 80 days to go until the big election day. But the thing I wanted to talk about today was accreditation and specifically veterinary training programs. The AVMA Council on Education has recently received a lot of feedback from the community, from deans, from administrators, from instructors, from students, and others, of course. And they received, I think, around 1,300 individuals' comments around distance-based education. So I hope some of you were individuals that put comments out there. The council has met and updated in March their policies and procedures, and specifically they included some language around distance-based education. And so if a veterinary program chooses to include distance-based education, there are a few things that are sort of required or very clear on the council now. If you are going to deliver distance education, it's only appropriate for preclinical education. And if you're going to use it for your preclinical education, 85% of it or more must still maintain in an in-person setting. So you could choose to have, a program could choose to have some distance-based education, but the grand majority of it still needs to be in person and delivered real time. Clinical education, so hands-on skills, learning surgical techniques, things of that nature, those are mandated to stay in person in real time. And then the final thing is that there was some discussion and back and forth about artificial intelligence and what it's doing in relation to academic integrity, how do we verify a student's identity, things of that nature. And so if you're interested, you can find the entire council's policies and procedures manual, but the big things to think about and to know for you is that clinical training has to be in person, preclinical training has to be majority in person, and if a program chooses to have some remote, only up to 15%. And the distance-based education component must have substantive and regular interaction between instructor and student. And schools need to be really mindful about how they are identifying student identity verifications and how that relates to academic integrity and artificial intelligence. Pretty interesting things that are happening in the world right now. So if you want to know more, the Council on Education is hosting a Q&A session about the distance education updates. That is on May the 13th at I think maybe 2 or 3 p.m. Central Time. I'll drop a link below if you want to sign up for that. You can submit questions ahead of time, but might be a really great way to just stay in the know on how we are educating our current and future veterinary students. So hope you find this as interesting as I do, and looking forward to this next 80 days until AVMA election. Remember, tell your delegates, vote for Jen.